Hi guys. Okay, so it's Halloween this weekend coming and I'm actually going out this year, as I did last year, because it's my best friend's birthday. However, if you have no plans and you want something to do and you don't necessarily want to be out, I can highly recommend a film night. Now, I thought it'd be worthwhile me sharing with you guys some of my favourite films that come out every single Halloween. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown on them, give them a try, see what you think. If there's any you think I've missed off that I might even like to watch, comment down below, get in touch and share with me. So, film countdown, 3, 2, 1. Okay guys, so I've done this into several categories. So if you have little ones or you've got some family around and you want to put films on that are more appropriate for them but still a little bit spooky if you want to keep them entertained, this is my first category. It's probably my favourite category, to be fair, I think. I say this, but then I'll get onto other ones and I'll think that's my favourite. So, starting straight in, Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Cannot beat it. Classic film, Bill Murray, amazing in it, funny, gross. So if you've got little ones, there's lots of slime, there's lots of mess. Kids are always going to love that, me included. So yes, Ghostbusters 1 and 2. Another brilliant one is, I am a massive Tim Burton fan, as you all know, just in case. So naturally, Nightmare Before Christmas. Every year, Christmas, Halloween, any time of the year, that film goes on in this house. But one that particularly I love watching at Halloween time is Edward Scissorhands. It's such a sad and sweet story all at the same time, with a little bit of creepiness but not too much that you could watch this with a little one and it'd be just enough to get them a bit freaked out but not over the top, because Edward is just so adorable and so lovable, you can't be scared of him. So yeah, every single time, Nightmare Before Christmas and Edward Scissorhands. Next on my list of appropriate for kids, and this is a definite for like any age, I think, Casper. Yes, I am nearly 30 and I have got Casper in my ready to watch list. I don't care, I love it, it's just brilliant. Nice, beautiful little story behind it all, yeah, it's funny, a little bit creepy, haunted house, ghosts and stuff, so love this film, feel good film. It just makes me happy watching this, it really does. Another one I can't find, well, another couple I cannot find, Beetlejuice, every time. Freaking love that film. Practical Magic, it's probably more for like early teens rather than younger, I would suggest. And Hocus Pocus. Any age, I think, should watch Hocus Pocus. There's witches, zombies, trick-or-treating, everything you could want. There's a few musical numbers in there. As far as Disney scary films go, I love it. I just adore it. It's one of my favourites. Can't find them at the moment because everything's a mess in there right now. The last two that I would recommend on the appropriate for children film afternoon is, of course, the Addams Family series. So there's the Addams Family and Addams Family Values. So number one is mostly my favourite. However, I love Addams Family Values because it takes this creepy old family and mixes them in with society for like summer camp, which is just perfect because it basically describes my entire like teenage years of how I felt around normal people. So love the films, they're just so crazy, they're so out there that I've always wanted to be one of the Addams, but you know, you can only dream, right? The next category I would go for is my more darker, a little bit more gory. I'm not the biggest of gore fans. It's only recently I've started watching stuff like I've watched Saw and Final Fantasy, and I know some people will be watching this going, that's not gory. When you don't do gore, that's gory. So in that category of on the verge of gory, this I would not recommend to watch with children. Teenagers, yeah, fine. Or just an adult film night, it's fine. So first up, The Exorcist. Now this is a film I had serious issues about. I was always told this film was terrifying, it's awful, don't ever watch it, you'll pap yourself. and I never did. It's one of Thumper's favourite films, so we made a compromise. I watched this, so she'd watch, it might have been Nightmare Before Christmas, something along those lines, one of my kind of films, and I have to say, I freaking love this film. Yes, it is creepy, yes, it is dark, but it is so magically done, the way that it's filmed, the way that they captured everything. The cinematography on it is just incredible. Sometimes it's more the fear of what could happen than what actually happens in the film, so if you don't do films like that, then maybe not. But I was terrified of the idea of it, and yet I'm recommending it in my Halloween film list. Your call. Sticking to the sort of more towards gory, weird horror films, Donnie Darko. Now, anyone that knows me personally will know this film is just, oh, I love it. I love this film. I have got the book on it. I have got all sorts from Donnie Darko. Really weird. It's all about time holes. It's not necessarily a horror themed one as such, but it's all about wormholes in time and seeing his own death and preventing it, and yeah, just give it a watch. You may need to watch it multiple times to understand it and get what it's really about. There are like so many fan theories about what its actual meaning is. I have my own theory. That's a whole different video. We'll go into that another time. Next up on my creepy list is Pan's Labyrinth. Again, this is one I've only recently seen. In fact, I've only seen it since I got with Thumper. It's always been on my list. I've just never really got around to watching it. I love it. If you don't do foreign films where you have to read subtitles, this is not the film for you because it is not in English. However, if you don't mind films like that, seriously give this a watch. It's dark, it's mystical, you gotta kind of use your brain a bit while you watch it. I just love it, and the special effects in it for when this film was made were incredible. Like, even now there's films out there I have sat and watched and this does a better job. So highly recommend Pan's Labyrinth, one of my favourite films of all time actually. Beautiful film, love it. Next up, From Hell. This is a Johnny Depp film. He plays a detective in the Jack the Ripper case, and it's basically following one of the many Jack the Ripper conspiracy theories. One that I personally have always thought was possibly the root of what happened with the old Jack the Ripper case. Brilliant film. It starts off pretty mild, so if you don't do gore, it's not too bad because it builds up to what happens. You get a bit of a warning that it's getting worse. So it's not too bad though. It's worth watching for the actual story and the plot twists that are in this film. First time I saw it, there was like something happened that I didn't see coming, and normally I'm pretty good with plot twists. So yes, highly recommend From Hell. The next theme I'm going to go with is, of course, the classic horrors. Now, to me, if you're going to sit and watch any genre of film, watch the originals that started that genre, because you learn where films are now because of films like this. Things wouldn't happen if these films were not made. This was a set that I treated myself to because I've been looking for them individually for a long time, and I've just not been able to find them. So in here is Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Invisible Man, The Bride of Frankenstein, The Wolfman, Phantom of the Opera, and Creature from the Black Lagoon. So these, because they are on Blu-ray, have all been digitally remastered, and I have to say the quality is beautiful. It's so crisp, the sound is really clear, and it just makes the watching so much nicer. And it's a really nice little set. You get the 8 films in there, which are beautifully displayed with like a little snippet of each film. But it also included, which I didn't know because it didn't say on the description when I actually bought it, but it's actually got like the original film posters as postcards, and you also get a little book explaining about them really, and you get a little bit of information on each of the films and background information about films and things like that, and some of the variant posters that were around. So if you like to read up on films and stuff like I do, definitely recommend the Universal Monsters collection, and they do various other ones. We've also got the Alfred Hitchcock set that was done by the same, well, by Universal, that did this collection. So sticking with the classical monster theme, obviously Frankenstein was in there. Which brings me to my next little subcategory of Frankenstein films, because to me, I love nothing more than the thought of classic horrors, especially when it's getting colder and you can wrap up and watch it. And if you're looking for a more gentle version of Frankenstein, Young Frankenstein is hilarious, and it has the magical Gene Wilder in, who makes me sad thinking that he's no longer here, because he is in most of the films that I just love, that make me happy every time I see them. So sad time, but I do have them so I can watch them whenever. So yeah, he basically plays Frankenstein's great-great-grandson, and he doesn't want anything to do with his name, and it's so stupid, it's slapstick, it's sometimes really obvious, and a lot of one-liners in it. So if you don't do old comedy and one-liners, don't watch this, because it will just irritate you. But I love it, it makes me laugh so hard, it's stupid. Yeah, I just love anything like this that's like a well-known situation or story, and they just take it to a stupid place, like Robin Hood Men in Tights. Any film like that, I love. So this one is a definite Halloween classic. Okay, so again, sticking with the Frankenstein, I have two takes on this. So the next one is I, Frankenstein. So this is actually based off a comic book series that is out. I haven't been able to find them anywhere yet locally, so I may have to go online to get them. But again, it's pretty much the original Frankenstein and the monster story, but there's a little bit more sci-fi, a bit more modern, there's gargoyles and things. So if you want like an action film along with a story from the classic times like Frankenstein, this is a good little compromise. So yes, they call him Frankenstein, yet he is the monster, or creature, whichever you wish to call him. But they do address why they call him Frankenstein, so I can let it go in this film, because it irritates me when they get it wrong. Because Frankenstein was the creator, and the monster, or creature, is not Frankenstein. Whichever one, whenever they say Frankenstein, or you Google Frankenstein, that is the image that will come up, and it's the creature, or the monster, whichever you wish to call him. Ugh, angers me. But yes, this one explains why it does what it does, so I let it go. So I will recommend it. My final Frankenstein film that I would recommend is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, which is played by Robert De Niro. Now this film I just adore. It basically sticks to the original book. It's correct, it's accurate, but it's beautifully done. You don't feel terrified by the monster, you just feel really sorry for him, and you just want him to, you know, be loved and be happy, and it's so well done. It's, well, how long is it? I'm not sure what the running time is, I can never find it. It is quite slow paced, but it's so well done that it doesn't matter. You just enjoy the story for what it is, like, because it sticks to the proper story. And Helen Bonham Carter's in it, and all round a winner for me. So definitely, if you want something a little bit more slow paced and not all in your face horror, this one is a beautiful, beautiful film to sit and watch. So now that I've finished with the Frankenstein category, I have a few more left, and then we're pretty much done in terms of films that I would recommend for Halloween. So first one is The Craft. How can you just not love this? It's about a bunch of angry loner schoolgirls that decide to make a witch ring and cause a load of trouble, and I basically wanted to be these when I was in college. This was my goals. Never happened. Still trying, not done. This film was just awesome. It's very much along the lines of like Practical Magic, like I was mentioning earlier. Love this film. It's just funny, it's cheesy, it's dark. Brilliant. Next film. Next one I would recommend is The Lost Boys. Now, this is a vampire film. They are bikers. They are gothy vampires at that. They don't try and blend in like many do. These want to be noticed and cause trouble. I only saw this film like the start of this year. I'd never seen it before. And I have to say, one of my favourites now. Love it. The soundtrack's incredible. And it's just stupid, really. It's just... yeah, good film. Not too gory, not too in your face. Just enjoyable enough that you know it's a vampire film. So, highly recommend. And of course, I am pretty much any time I recommend films, this is probably going to end up on the list. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. Now, I have the soundtrack of this. I have this on DVD. I have it on Blu-ray. I just love this film. I have not seen it on stage yet, and I want to because I live for the Rocky Horror Show. Richard O'Brien has admitted to being off his face when he wrote it, but it wasn't really that much of a surprise. If you've ever seen it, you only have to have watched like 2 minutes worth, and you will know he wasn't all there when this was written. But I love it. The soundtrack's brilliant. Tim Curry. Oh, in this film, I just love him. He plays the freaky scientist that really doesn't give a damn about anyone but himself, really, deep down. Clashes with two very, very plain, shy, normal people, and just the things that happen are stupid. Meatloaf is in it. Oh, I just can't recommend this enough, whether it's for Halloween, any time of the year. Stick this on and you'll be in a great mood. Apparently there is a sequel to it, and I didn't know this until earlier last year. I've seen random bits of it before, but I never placed it that it was the sequel to this, so that might have to happen. So the final thing I would recommend, it is not a film, as sometimes people don't necessarily like to sit and watch films and they'd rather watch a series of something. So as I'm thinking Halloween theme, what me and Thumper recently have started watching, and I mean like recently, we've pretty much flown through series 1. There are only 3 series altogether. That is the incredibly beautiful Penny Dreadful. Now, I bought this months back. It was one of you guys actually recommended this series to me because I watched Once Upon a Time and stuff like that. And I thought I'd give it a go, see how it was. We literally got through series 1 in the week that Thumper was off. We were watching like 2 or 3 a night. Normal telly did not go on. There's basically Victor Frankenstein, the scientist. Well done. Good job. You've got witches, wolves, demons, vampires, everything you could possibly want, all in the same little town, running around doing stuff. Vanessa Ives is played by Eva Green, who I have to say I have seen a lot of lately because I've been watching Dark Shadows, which is another Johnny Depp one, and she plays the witch in that. I've also been to go see Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children, and she played an awesome Miss Peregrine, exactly how I imagined her when I read her. So when I realised it was her that was in Penny Dreadful, I got a little bit excited about that. She's an incredible actress. There are some scenes in series 1 that were so freakish, it was almost like it wasn't her, and that's what she was playing, and that's what it looked like. Awesome, little bit predictable in places, but then again, me and Thumper, we seem to do this with series. Between us, we will figure out what happens within like the first 2 episodes of like a 10-part series. So I don't know whether that's just me and Thumper or just in general. Let me know in the comments below if you found the same thing. We are about halfway through series 2 now, and there's only 1 more series after that. I'm really gutted, but the heavens have heard the heavens have heard people's complaints, and they have created a comic book series that explains how people ended up where this starts. So kind of like a prequel to this, but in comic book form. A little bit bloody, dark, yes. Beautiful, yes. Incredible, yes. So if you don't want to watch a film necessarily and you want to watch a series, I cannot recommend Penny Dreadful enough. It's incredible. I love it, and I'm so upset that I've just discovered it and they've cut it after series 3. Every time I get into something that's a bit unusual, I think it's me. So yes, I hope that this has been helpful for you if, you know, you're looking for a bit of a film night session for Halloween weekend and you're not going out. I hope it doesn't even have to just be for this Halloween weekend, for the darker seasons. I just think coming up to winter, I tend to put away all my cheery, happy films and I go for the darker stuff because it's cold outside, it's warm inside, you're snuggled up, and you can watch something a bit creepy and just get cuddled up and enjoy being close to someone if you've got someone, or just enjoy being scared a little bit. I come to life when the seasons change, and films definitely change everything. So yes, cannot recommend any of them enough. So definitely give them a go. Many of them, if you have a Kodi box, will be on there. Some are on Netflix and things like that. It just depends. But a lot of the ones I've got, I've picked up super cheap, like £2-3 for one, like for DVDs and things like that. So they are cheap enough you can pick up, and especially this time of year, they generally will group this kind of thing up coming up to Halloween, so it's a lot easier to find them. So let me know how you get on finding them, if you watch any of them and what you think. Also, comment down below, what would your list be? Name as many or as few as you like. If you name as few as you like, you probably wouldn't list any. Duh. But let me know below what sort of films you will always pull out this time of year to watch. Get in touch, I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you again next week. Thanks guys, bye!
My mama told me one day I'ma grow up big and I'ma be a king. And my papa told me it's okay to sit where shit hurts. Don't forget your dreams, cause they'll get